Get happy outdoors. Get happy. Happy. Get happy.
Now let's get happy.
Happy. Happy. Get happy outdoors.
Happy. Now let's get happy.
Happy.
Happy. Outdoors. Outdoors.
Happy.
Outdoors. Whoa. That's a tiger trout.
Get happy outdoors.
Hey everybody, Happy again with Get Happy Outdoors. I'm here with another episode on fly tying. So this time, I want to show you how to tie another one of my easiest patterns to tie and another one of my most productive patterns. I'd rank this one in my top 3 as well. Probably number 2 or just somewhere in the top 3. This is Happy's Scud. All right. There's a lot of variations to this fly. I want to show you the simplest way to tie it right now, and maybe in some other episodes in the future I'll show you some of the more complex ways that you can tie this fly, some more variations of it. But in this episode I'm going to show you the easiest way to tie it. So this is Happy's Scud, and we're going to do it on 2 different types of hooks. Okay, we're going to do it on a curved shank, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the straight shank. We tie them both the same way, but there's a reason that we tie them on 2 different types of hooks. And I'm not going to go into how to use the fly and everything like that during these episodes. These are just the fly tying episodes. In other episodes later in the future, I'll go over how to use all these flies. And obviously you can look back into some of my videos here. I already show you how to use them when I'm out on the lake. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and have fun. So I hope this gets you happy and gives you something to do during those long winter days. So, all right, guys, so here we go. So the next fly that we're going to tie is Happy's Scud. This is a freshwater arthropod, also known as a scud or a freshwater shrimp. These live in most trout waters. They're at least 8,000 feet or even below 8,000 feet. So we've got 2 different styles here. We've got one tied on a curved shank hook, the one to the left, and we've got one tied on a straight shank hook. Now the difference between the 2 is how you work them in the water. Now the curved shank hook works best with an indicator, while the straight shank hook works best with a full sinking line or a sinking tip line. So here are the materials that you'll need to tie Happy's Scud. You need synthetic dubbing. Any kind of dubbing really does work, but for these purposes of this video and the way I'm going to tie this particular fly, the synthetic dubbing works really well, and this craw dub works awesome. So just match it up to the color of the naturals that are in your area. Now you see the empty plastic Ziploc bag next to it that I've already cut into a few strips there. Those strips are what we're going to use for the shellback of the Scud. And you'll see how we do that in a moment. Now you also need the lead wire, 0.020, and you need some gold or silver medium to thin ribbing wire. So that's it. Another fly that requires a minimal amount of materials. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with the curved shank hook. I'm going to show you how to tie this one real quick. Sometimes you'll see this hook comes a little bit curved sideways
where the point of the hook is coming out sideways a little bit, I'll just go ahead and stick it in the vise and straighten it out. I don't like that little sideways curve. There we go. Nice and straight. Let's even it up on the vise there. Okay. Oh, I also forgot to mention you want to match the color thread to the dubbing that you're using, of course. And again, we're using 6/0 thread. Forgot to mention that. Sorry about that, guys. With the curved shank hook, I actually take my thread quite a ways down. I really want the curve of that hook to play into the pattern here. So I take it all the way down to about there. And now we're going to take this clear plastic Ziploc bag. Usually I just use the ones that the dubbing comes in. So here we just cut this strip off. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. Now when I tie it down, typically you're going to see most people tie it like this. Tie it down and then get rid of this end of it. But I don't want to get rid of that end. I want that end to stay there because I want to use it as a tail. So I'm going to do it like this. Lay it across my thread. Tighten it down to the shank. Just like so. Just do a couple of wraps here pretty quick. Then fold that over. I'm going to leave all of that the way it is. Now I'm going to come just a little ways away from where that shellback is tied down. And that's where I'm going to put our ribbing wire. Because I don't want it to start at the very, very end over there. And the reason I'm doing it in these steps is you can see where the thread ended right there, where it's hanging from. That's where I usually start my lead wrap. Right around the middle of the hook, just like we do with the leech. And again on this one we do about 6 wraps. 0.020 lead. And now we wind up the thread to make a taper. Go nice and loose over the lead. Taper it a little bit from the head. And then just try to cover up that lead with the thread. Now we've got a nice taper effect going there. And I want it to end behind that wire. So a couple of wraps behind there. Let it hang again. Now we take our craw dubbing, or like I said, it really doesn't matter what kind of dubbing you use. You can really make pretty much any dubbing work. We're going to wind this on real nice and tight. Now there's a few key points you're going to want to pay attention to on this that I'll be pointing out here in a moment. That's more than we need, I think. So that's wrapped real nice and tight. Now I'm going to come back in with some real loose stuff. And I'm just going to kind of touch it on top of all that tight stuff. just lay it over the top of that stuff. Just kind of give it a couple little wraps just to make sure it's on there, but it's nice and loose there. Okay, so the idea of this is, as we're wrapping this in, we want this tail end to be the skinny end of the shrimp's body, or the scud's body. So you're going to build up again to about a third of the body will be the biggest portion. Then you taper it back down to the head. Just like that. Now we pull the wire below here, and we're simply going to pull the shell back over. You see how that lays down real nice on top of there. We're going to semi-tightly wrap it. We don't want to do too tight because it'll cut that shell back, that plastic. We just want to hold it in place, and I'm going to cut the majority off of it right now just so it doesn't get in my way. We'll cut the rest off later. And then we're going to come in and we're going to rib it. You see how the ribbing doesn't start on the very end, so the ribbing doesn't make a ball or anything at the very end of it there. That's why we had to tie it a little bit of ways away from where we tied down the shell back. Evenly space your ribbing pretty much. You're going to pull it nice and tight. You want it to sink in, because ribbing is meant to represent body segments. So it's supposed to be kind of indented. Cut that off. I always smash that down with some tweezers if I feel like it might cut my thread as I'm tying it off. Now that we've got that ribbed over, we'll go ahead and stretch this and cut it. Now we're going to go ahead and tie it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6 for good luck. Cut that off. Now we've still got some of that tail left, right? So I cut this, basically I cut a V into it, and I cut it really short. Cut there. And cut there. Doesn't have to be perfect. I've never seen a shrimp that had a perfect looking tail. Just something that looks like that little tail piece that they have at the end there. All right, now we're almost done. I know it looks like we're actually done, doesn't it? What we're going to do now is we're going to take a little piece of Velcro. Something you can get at a craft store or pretty much anywhere. I think I actually clipped this off of like a rain jacket or something like that. It's got the little hooky hooks. See? So we take those hooky hooks and we simply roughen out the dubbing. Makes it look like legs. Bingo bango. Pretty cool, right? And then I just trim away any of that really long stuff that's just popping out. There you have it, guys. Happy's Scud on the curved shank hook. So I told you that the curved shank hook works best with an indicator. Now the reason being is when shrimp or scuds are swimming through the water, they're usually straight bodied. They're not curved like the curved shank. They're like a straight shank. So that's when they're swimming, they are actually straightened out. But when they want to change their depth, like if they want to go down a foot and check out the weed growth, see what kind of food is just a foot below them or something like that, they'll stop swimming and they'll actually flip upside down, wow, like this, and they'll actually free fall in this position right here. And this is the position that this fly actually falls in because of where we have the lead wire. So where we've positioned that lead wire up near the head like that, it makes it turn upside down when we stop and do our pauses. So we're giving it like a, say, a 20-30 inch drag, and then we stop, let it sink. This is what it looks like when it's sinking. This is what a real shrimp looks like when they're changing their depth, when they want to drop down a foot to look for other food. Or if they're just tired of swimming, sometimes they'll actually just free fall just like this. So this is actually why the trout hit it on the fall. So that's why this works so well with an indicator. Now the straight shank hook obviously works a little differently, and we're going to go ahead and tie that one next. So there you have it, guys. Happy's Scud. Pretty awesome. This is another one of my top flies, guys. This one is one of my most productive flies as well, especially if they're a shrimp present. Then they're present year round. Ice off to ice on, this fly can work. All right, there you go. Another secret given away. Now that we've tied the curved shank scud, let me show you real quick on how we're going to do the straight shank scud. We're actually going to do the straight shank scud exactly the same way. So I'll probably just fast forward through it all, but I will show you. I will show it to you at least. And that is what a swimming shrimp or swimming scud looks like. So this is a straight shank scud, and this is what they look like while they're actually swimming. So this pattern works best with a full sinking line or a sinking tip line because it's going to have more movement to it. So with a full sinking line, obviously your pauses are going to be a lot shorter. You don't want to let them pause quite so long because otherwise everything's going to sink too far. So these are more of a constant movement type of fly. You can work it with an indicator, of course, but like I said, it does work best with a full sinking or a sinking tip. And same thing goes for the curve shank hook. You can use that with a full sink or a sinking tip as well. Your pauses won't be quite so long is all. But you can use either of these patterns with all three options of technique: strike indicator, sinking tip, or full sinking lines. So there you go. All right, so that's how you tie Happy's Scud. All right, that's just one variation of it. And like I said, it's the easiest one to tie. You can tie it in a number of different colors. So this olive color that I'm tying obviously is just one of the most popular ones. But you know, they do come in many different colors. So check that out and have fun tying this fly. Till the next one, guys, get happy outdoors. Cheers.